Hey guys, we are in the holiday season proper, and this is the time of year when many of us would actually be going crazy on the Black Friday sales, Cyber Monday, lots of kits and sets and value packs. Well, I'm going to cover some of the favorite things that I've hauled recently, and they're going to be a mix of both items that I've purchased myself as well as some PR gifts which I happen to fall in love with. Obviously, this is just a tiny fraction of the items that are available right now, so if you have particular favorites that you don't see in my list, please let me know what your favorites are in the comments below. Now let's begin with one of the holiday collections that really wowed me this year, and that is the DIOR Holiday 2020 collection. This includes two of these gorgeous 5 Couleur palettes. You have a warmer one called 549 Golden Snow, which has these beautiful lush bronzes and pale champagne golds, plus a rich chocolate. This is very much of a daily palette, although it's all metallic, so you really do have to like your shimmers. Now, full disclosure, I want to point out that Golden Snow was a PR gift, and it's beautiful, but if you own a lot of warm, neutral palettes, a lot of metallics in your collection, you may not really need to pick this up. The one that I did go down to the store to purchase with my own money was this one, and this is 089 Black Knight. Whatever you do, don't buy these just to collect them and keep them in your drawer. I know the embossing is gorgeous, but please use them. You're not getting your money's worth if you're just keeping them somewhere. The thing that I have to point out about Black Knight is that it looks crazy in the palette. You've got a deep dark blood red, you've got a navy, you've got a bright silver, but if you look at it on your skin, it's actually pretty neutral. The burgundy comes off more like a wine brown, and the navy just comes off as a cool toned charcoal. So if you look at the color story here, this is extremely wearable. In fact, if you were looking for something a little bit more intense with more vibrant pops of color, you may actually be disappointed with this one. Now, while we are on DIOR, I must mention the Golden Knight's Refillable Jewel Lipstick Kit. Now, this is the most beautiful clutch ever, and this is not the first iteration that they've come up with. I do have one from, I think, 1 or 2 years ago. What this is a beautiful mock leather black and gold zip pouch filled with 6 Rouge DIOR lipsticks. There is one refillable tube, and you can change out the shades anytime you choose. Now, I'm 100% for high-end brands doing refillable makeup. I really do not need to be throwing out so many of these empty tubes when I can just purchase a refill slightly cheaper and just put them into the tubes as and when I want. Now, these are all full-size lipsticks. They are not minis. So if you're carrying a really small clutch or purse, you can actually drop one of these in your bag and just skip the chunky tube altogether. Now, you probably have to like reds because in the box you get 2 of DIOR's classic 999. This is their signature red. It leans a little bit on the warm side in my opinion. One is cream, one is matte. If you want a slightly more blue-toned true red, you have 666 here in the middle. Then you have 028, which is a soft coral pink. 772, which is a warm rosy neutral, and then 665, which is more of a sheeny pinky neutral. Now, I do have one important reminder if you own the previous year's edition of the Lip Jewels kit, because 4 of the 6 shades are exactly the same. Even if you're a hardcore DIOR fan, I would say you probably don't need this year's edition if you own the previous one already, unless these are pretty much the only lipsticks you use and you're really running through them quickly, in which case then just go ahead and buy this one. If you're a lipstick addict like me, then the holiday season is like an insane time where you get lots and lots of lipstick sets, great value lipstick sets. Now, this one really was a showstopper for me. The moment I saw it, I was like, I have to try that. And that's the Showstopper Powderkiss lipstick set from MAC. Like the DIOR set, these are all full-size lipsticks. They are not minis, so you're getting quite a good value considering the usual price of MAC lipsticks. If you're in Singapore, MAC has a special deal going on these online for the 12/12 sale. You can get these, I think it was 40% off or something like that. It's an insane price. So if you happen to want to pick this up, go and pick it up quickly. I do have to put the reminder out there though, if you've never tried MAC Powderkiss lipsticks and you're not 100% sure you're gonna like the formula, it may not make sense to jump for one of these big sets because you just end up with 5 lipsticks that you don't like. In the long run, you'd save more money just buying one and trying it out first. Now, LisaEldridge lipsticks, finally got down to trying them this year, and I am completely in love with them. Now, these are pricey and they are all matte, but these have the most luxurious, buttery, silky smooth, creamy texture. Expensive as they are, I find the formula to be on par with the Louboutin lipsticks, but the price is less than half of that. They are also definitely comparable to the Pat McGraths in terms of the texture and feel, although I do find the LisaEldridge just slightly creamier and more moisturizing, so if you've very dry lips, you may prefer this to the Pat McGrath ones. I would say shade selection wise, Pat McGrath is obviously much larger in terms of its range of colors, and also this is just easier to find year round. The LisaEldridge ones are probably almost all sold out on her site already, and she doesn't restock them constantly. Otherwise, I would pick up more of the LisaEldridge ones in a heartbeat. Now, the Pat McGrath ones, maybe your taste is different from mine, but I do kind of find them a little clunky. You know, it's not easy to store because of this lip here. It's a little bit tacky looking, a little bit OTT, and the packaging also feels a little bit more flimsy for how much it costs. So this is definitely one of the minuses for Pat McGrath lipsticks for me, and this is just really sturdy, really sleek. You know, it's not OTT, it's just more elegant overall. Now, I didn't manage to buy the one that I really wanted, which was Velvet Dragon, the most amazing cinnabar orangey red, but I did get 4 good ones. This one is Velvet Fawn, which sadly is sold out right now. This is the lipstick shade that I wore on IG and also on YouTube, and I got so many DMs asking me what that shade was. This one is Velvet Jazz, which is a beautiful deep burgundy, very classic noir shade. If you are a vintage lady, you love that 20s, 30s look, this is the color for you. Now, the strange taupey brown is Velvet Decade, and I really wanted this color because this was one of those strange shades that Lisa swatched on 4 women of completely different skin tones, warm, cool, pale, deep, and it looked amazing on all of them, so definitely felt I had to pick up at least one more unique shade. And of course, this last one is Velvet Ribbon, which is her classic red. This is kind of like Ruby Woo, but if Ruby Woo had a slightly creamier and softer texture. Quickly moving on to cheek products. Now, the Tarte Blush Authority Kit was something that the moment I saw it in the store, I was like, oh, such a great deal, and I really like this format or this packaging as well. Now, previous years, if you've seen a lot of the Tarte collections, they've usually come up with huge blush palettes, 4 shade, 10 shade, 8 shade ones, and they're clunky, they're big, they sometimes don't get that much use. Whereas this one I really love because it comes in 3 modular trios like this. You can split it with 2 friends or family if you have one that you're eyeing and you don't need all 3. Also, these are so much more space saving because they just twist apart. You can bring these along when you travel. You can chuck one in your purse. It's not a big old palette that's going to take up a lot of space in your gym bag. Now, I am wearing the shade I'm Smitten on my cheeks today. It's kind of a slightly more intense version of their exposed blush, kind of that neutral browny pinky shade, which is very flattering and goes with most eye and lip colors. This next one is a strange one because it came in PR and I was not expecting to like it, and then I tried it on and I did. Now, this is the BECCA Barbie Ferreira collaboration palette. It's called Prismatica. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm not a huge fan of this packaging. Just give me a regular old lid. I'm old-fashioned like that. Now, what's inside can look really intimidating, especially if you have lighter skin. In fact, some of the colors are so pigmented that I would say these make great eyeshadows. It's not powdery, it's not chalky, there's not a ton of fallout by way of, like dusty little particles all over your face. This is definitely wearable even if you have lighter skin. I just maybe wouldn't wear this daily or on Zoom calls for work. On the warmer end, there is one other palette which I'm going to talk about, which I think is a great balance between collectible packaging, beautiful color story that is very wearable, that you get a lot of mileage out of, and also great value because of how much each individual shade would cost usually. And this is the Shuuemura one-piece palette called 1000 Sunny. This would be a perfect palette if you like warm tones, you like neutrals, you like a palette that's going to take you through the entire year because it's so wearable, but there are a couple of pops of color when you want to jazz things up as well. Now this beautiful mottled shade here is very similar to those Huda Beauty textured shadows. The L'Oreal brands have been coming up with quite a lot of these recently. Some of these are in the Stoned Vibes palette from Urban Decay. They look a little bit chunky and gritty, but they actually go on quite beautiful if you just use the warmth of your finger to blend it out. I definitely don't suggest using a brush with this type of formula. Now you may notice that there are not a lot of skincare mentions in this video simply because holiday season is not the time where I'm jumping in and trying a whole bunch of new skincare. I don't specifically wait until the year end to restock my favorites either. If I run out, I'm repurchasing pronto. Now very often I will look on places like lookfantastic.com or cultbeauty.com for special deals during the holiday season, because this is when I will pick up things that are either not available in Singapore or very much more expensive in Singapore, including these Ardell 701 Wispies, which I'm wearing a pair of today. 701s are a very much more glammed up, longer, more dramatic, more voluminous version of the regular Wispies. I really love them for special occasions and I cannot find them here in Singapore. They're also slightly cheaper online, so this is the typical time of year where I will buy a whole bunch of these and just store them for the year ahead since they're non-perishable. The reason I want to call out this shape in particular is because this really has the look of those Huda Beauty Samantha lashes, except it's way cheaper, so I think it's really worthwhile. It has a beautiful lightweight invisible band if you don't like the feel of heavy lash bands. It gives a beautiful cat-like lift to the outer corners of the eyes like the regular Wispies, but these are denser, more luminous, a little bit more glamorous and dramatic, so it's a great lash shape for the holiday season or New Year's Eve. I do also have a bunch of new liquid lipstick formulas that I want to review for you guys. One is the NARS Air Matte liquid lipstick and the other one is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Lip Stain. I pick up new products to try out and review for you guys year-round anyway, and the year-end sale period is just a time where my money goes a little bit further. I am a huge fan of makeup minis in general. I think it's a great way to try out multiple colors, different formulas, different textures without over-investing, over-buying, overstocking items. Out of all the available minis this season, I picked out this one in particular because I kind of feel this is way too underrated. This is a trio of the Shiseido ModernMatte powder lipsticks. Despite the name powder lipsticks, these do not have the same kind of powdery suede-like feel of MAC Powderkiss lipsticks. They are very much denser and richer. They also have this squared off top, which gives you a lot of precision without needing a lip brush. Now there are a handful of matte lipstick formulas on the market which I call Louboutin quality, but they are not Louboutin price. LisaEldridge True Velvet lipsticks are one. The Shuuemura Amplified Matte Lipstick range is another, and the third is the Shiseido Modern Matte Lipstick formula. Out of all these brands, Shiseido is the only one that came out with the minis this year, so if you love luxury matte lipsticks in particular, pick this up, give this a try, you can thank me later. On to one last thing that I hauled during the holiday season. Now this is not new and it's not really makeup, but it does change your look quite significantly, and these are colored lenses. These are by HapaKristin, and before I discovered this brand, I pretty much only bought and wore Desio colored lenses because they were just more comfortable, they were very well made, so you know, when you're looking at someone up close, they don't see all those disgusting big dots or very unnatural looking patterns in your eye, which, let's be honest, a lot of colored lenses look really janky up close. DIOR lenses look really good. So, you know, even though it was a little bit of a pain on the wallet, I would wait for sales every year and pick up a couple of colors until HapaKristin came along, because these look just as good up close. They are extremely comfortable. I do have pretty sensitive eyes. I cannot wear just any colored lens, and these have not given me a problem. I think maybe 1 out of the 10 pairs I've tried so far didn't feel comfortable. Other than that, they're really, really great, and for 1 pair of DIOR lenses, I can buy boxes and boxes of HapaKristin. Now, I do have a 10% off code with HapaKristin. It is box 10 if you want to order anything. Just be aware, full disclosure, I do get a tiny commission if you purchase anything using my code, but do not use my code if you're not 100% comfortable using it. And I do purchase these myself, by the way. They did send me a set of free ones way back when, but I don't like to keep mailing a brand to ask for free stuff. If they send it, they send it. If they don't, and I think it's a good enough product, I should have no problem supporting them myself. So that is a quick listing of some of the favorite items that I have hauled in the past month or so. I think I'm not alone in saying that I really need to lay off on the online shopping a little bit. I'm sure you've been hauling as well. If you have any recent favorites, please comment below and let us know what you've been loving and what you recommend that we pick up. As always, I hope you have a great rest of the week, and I will see you in the next video.